everyone? There's been a buzz in the internet about the last Rising event, Rising 33, that one of the fights, Shibata against Kubo, was like a thrown fight or a fake fight. There's a lot of details in it. All the talks are in Japanese, so we did a podcast to explain it in English to let you guys know. So check it out.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Yamatodamashii podcast. Enson, the last time we did a podcast, we were talking Rizin 33, right? But we recorded this event pretty quickly. We did it probably the day after the event took place. Since then, some big news has gone live in Japan about the Kubo versus Shibartar fight. What are you hearing from your side of things?
Well, there's a big word being used. It's called yaocho. Yaocho means fake fight. So there's a big big controversy about it being having a fake fight in the Rising ring, which is 100%. It's an MMA fight, a real fight. So that's big news, and it's going crazy because there's all kinds of little plus alphas about it that is kind of like, okay, but this, but that, like for the whole story is pretty much that Kubo was supposed to fight someone else. 2 weeks before that person got hurt, and Shibata actually was the one who replaced that fighter. Apparently, Kubo and Shibata was doing they're communicating with each other online, which is already super weird.
Yeah,
that you're actually messaging your opponent. So they're communicating online. I read some of it, and it says it has Shibata pretty much telling Kubo that he has neck injuries. So if you punch me in the face, there might be a chance that they might have to stop the fight right away. And I think he played off the fact that Kubo was really looking forward to the fight and didn't want the fight canceled because of sponsors. His wife made a song for it, and it had all these things that were involved about him fighting. So he kind of didn't want it canceled, and he kind of wanted a way to continue to fight. And Shibata kind of told him pretty much that if you punch me in the face first round, because he's a K1 champion, so everybody was pretty much assuming that even with the weight discrepancy that Kubo was going to win. Mm-hmm. So Shibata was saying, if you hit me, then there's not going to really be a fight because I won't be able to move, and it'll be over. So how about, just to make it interesting, we just do leg kicks to each other in the first round, and in the second round, let's go all out. Mm-hmm. So apparently that was the agreement they made. Apparently also, allegedly, Miyata, the cornerman for Kubo, didn't know. Mm-hmm. Allegedly, Rising didn't know. Mm-hmm. So apparently what it seems like is it was something that was between Kubo and Shibata only.
Right, like a gentleman's agreement sort of thing.
Yeah, and then so what happened, as you saw the fight, they weren't supposed to punch each other in the face, which is really weird. It's a weird agreement, but apparently Shibata did, dropped him, and ended up armbarring him.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that when you know that now and you go back and watch the fight, the thing that's really obvious, right, is that Shibata is doing all his like antics, getting on his knees and things like that. And you think, obviously, if they hadn't have had that agreement, he might have kicked him right in the face when he did that. So it completely changes the fight, right? You'd be looking at a completely different fight if it didn't have that agreement in place.
Yeah, so it was supposed to be that one round, carry the fight for a round. Yeah, and what happened with the whole incident was it was all over. Of course, Kubo was kind of like, whoa, shit, what happened? We're supposed to go easy on the first round. I lost everything. And I don't know if he felt like he wanted to make it public because he lost or what the reason was, but what eventually happened was his wife's brother was found out about the line messaging. And the wife's brother is the one who came out and made it public that that fight was fixed, that they were talking about the fight before the fight. And if you watch the press conference that they had, the wife was sitting next to him, pissed off. She was sitting down really mad. Whenever he made a comment, he goes, "Oh, that's not good. What he's saying is the loser. I don't agree with that." And she put the mic down and said, and there was one section where one of the reporters asked her if Shibata was saying that he wanted to do a YouTube collab because he's a big YouTuber. And, you know, for his channel to do a YouTube collaboration with him. She pretty much, he kind of said, "Well, I don't know." And she kind of interrupted and said, "No, we'll never do that." And then he was kind of like, "Oh, I guess we will never do that." So she seemed like a real hard, just this lady's real mean, you know?
Yeah. She definitely wears
looked like that. And then now when you think about it, they found out about the line messaging and the fight being a little bit, you know, not real. They found out before the press conference. So she was pissed off about that. And I noticed she said a lot of things about Shibata had the right strategy. So what they're saying she meant was she had the strategy, he had the good strategy of telling him that he's hurt, don't go hard in the first round, and he went hard. So she said that, you know, a lot of things that she said kind of after, with hindsight, knowing that they knew about the whole scandal before the press conference, you kind of can understand the way she was answering things and how hard she was on the whole situation.
Yeah, definitely.
And I noticed Kubo also said that I wasn't able to give my 100%. So what he meant by that was because the first round was supposed to be easy, he wasn't going all out. So he said that in the press conference. He said that about 3 or 4 times, and I thought it was kind of weird. Like, what do you mean give your 100%?
Yeah.
So now, right now in Japan, it's huge, man. So there's all kind of speculation, about what's going to happen now. Is Rizin going to penalize them, or is Rizin going to hold their fight money? Is Rizin going to ban them from fighting? There's all these speculation. There's also an appeal from Shibata. He went on his YouTube channel saying that the only proof that Kubo has is the line messaging.
Yeah.
And he's saying that was all fixed. That's all document. That's all doctored. Doctored the document to make it look like they're lining each other. But the side thing is there's a little, it hasn't been made public yet, but they're saying that Kubo actually has a recording of some of the conversations they had.
Wow.
So it's going to be interesting what happens with this. Because if Shibata is lying, which I kind of would fall to that, thinking that he's lying, it's really bad because not only did he try and he asked Kubo to throw a fight, which is wrong of Kubo to take it, but he organized that Yaocho, that fake fight. What makes it even worse, which makes it twice as bad, is the fact that after it comes public, he's lying and denying it and trying to make it like Kubo's lying about stuff. So I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I mean, I kind of interested. I'm going to be checking out all the feeds and seeing what the updates are on this whole thing. It's going to probably be moving pretty fast.
Yeah, I mean, well, from your perspective, what do you think is fair? You know, if it does come out that this is true, what would you like to see happen to these guys?
If the circumstances are what we think it is right now, where Shibata asked Kubo to throw the fight, and he's also lying about it, I think Shibata should be banned from fighting forever, for life. He should also be his fight money should be taken away because he was paid to fight a real fight. He didn't fight a real fight. Both of them should lose their fight money, and in fact, both of them should be fined. So Shibata, of course, is probably not going to pay it because he's probably not going to ever fight in Rising again or any type of martial arts event again. And Kubo, I think, he made a mistake. I don't know. He felt bad about, Shibata, believed Shibata about his neck injury. And I think that he should have a big penalty that he has to pay off through fighting. But I think Shibata on one hand should be banned from fighting for what he's done.
Yeah, no, I agree, because the problem is that if he fights again, there's always going to be that doubt in people's head, and I don't think it will ever be the same again if he fights, right? Like the whole thing before was, it was like super exciting, oh, like a YouTuber coming into the sport, let's see how well he does. But now anytime he fights anyone, you know, it just has that association. And so anyone that,
Well,
you know, chooses to fight him is going to raise questions, you know, was there a
well, it even
conversation
goes
before the
back as
fight?
bad as thinking, okay, his fight with Hiroya now,
Yeah.
was
Yeah,
that
yeah,
set up?
blasphemous.
That fixed? I mean, you know, you wonder about that. You know,
Yeah.
I question that now. I almost want to watch that fight again and watch it with those eyes now. You know, and
Yeah.
the biggest thing for me that upsets me is that you have fighters in there like, you know, Okikubo, you know, the Asakura brothers. They're putting their health on the line. They're putting their life on the line. They're going in there and fighting for the chance that they can get knocked out to a point where they have permanent injury in their head. You know, you're going into that. You know, Shibata's going into the exact same ring. He's going into the ring that these people are quote unquote putting their lives on the line for the fight. That's super disrespectful.
Yeah.
And that should be another ring. That should be a pro wrestling ring. Shibata should go to a pro wrestling ring, or keep all his bullshit on his stupid YouTube channel. You know, stop disgracing martial arts and stop disrespecting the fighters, present and past.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely. It's I mean, the last sort of time, I remember before you were quite vocal about when similar things might happen in Pride, right? You kind of felt that it would just completely took away from the event. I mean, is this the first time this is sort of creeps back up in a while? Would you remember when the last time this sort of thing happened was?
Yeah, it was back in the day when I was fighting, when there was some speculation about some of the fights, and you know, I'm not afraid to say the name. You know, some of the fights that Takada fought.
Yeah,
there was some speculation about his fights, and I made it public that what I believed. I was asked, "What do you think about it?" And I said it in the kindest way possible, and I said that I believe that the rules that they fought was different from my rules, and I think it should be in a different ring. That's exactly what I said.
Wow, that's really like a nice way to put it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't say that was a fake fight, or you threw the fight, or it's a pro wrestling fight. I didn't even use those words, fake or pro wrestling. I just said that the rules were different from the rules that I fight, and I believe it shouldn't be done in the ring that I fight. So that's pretty much what I said. And I mean, that sums it up pretty much in a nice way. Same thing with Shibata. You know, Shibata and Kubo are gonna decide to line each other, even to a point. If they line each other, even for 2 messages saying how you doing, oh, let's have a good fight, they shouldn't be lining each other.
No,
They're opponents. It's a real fight. You shouldn't be lining each other. Period. You know. So, I mean, you know, that kind of stuff already is disrespecting the whole event and the fighters that are risking their lives in the event.
Yeah. I mean, Rizin has done quite a good job of sort of getting away from that image. You know, I mean, they still put on like the freak show fights and stuff like that, but they definitely hadn't been those sort of whispers going around before. So it's quite a shame that it's kind of put in a bit of a dark cloud. So yeah, hopefully they can move past this and get some more fights, especially when, you know, I had such a thing like the Bantamweight Grand Prix, right? Which was such a, you know, fun tournament, great winner, all around really great fights,
too, you know,
great fights, great
technical,
performances.
serious fights.
Yeah, absolutely, right. So it's a shame that, like you said, it takes it away from it a bit. But
I think a big thing for this is going to be how Rising reprimands them. You know, if Rising really severely reprimands them, it shows that they're not in part of it. They weren't part of it. They had no part in it, and they're against it. You know, it's gonna really tell a big story on how they reprimand the 2 fighters.
yeah, definitely. I can't imagine they'd let them fight again, just because I feel like their stock as fighters is completely devalued now. Both of them, really, to be honest, because you always have those questions. But no, that's cool.
Yep.
I mean, I think that's pretty much sums it up. We just wanted to do a quick short one, as it's, you know, really big hot news topic right now in Japan. So for anyone watching internationally, that's what's going on. So
yeah, and I wanted to do it because it's everything that's about this whole thing is in Japanese.
yeah.
So I'm pretty sure a lot of the people would want to know a lot of international fans are interested in Rising. I'm sure they'd want to know the gossip.
Cool. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll be back again soon.